Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the market call brought to you by the Value Flow Trading Team. This is for the New York recap, just as we already did the London session early hours of today this morning. And just this New York session, we are going to be looking at the dollar index, the yen basket, the precious metal, and the other get correlated here briefly to see what has happened so far so good from the analysis that we had in the morning. All right, so starting with, I'm going to go with the dollar index for this afternoon. So as you can see that the dollar index has happened to be bearish for today since the market opened, been pulling all the way back. However, on the 4-hour time frame too, we're seeing all the push to the downside, and this is as a result of the fundamental news event going on with the dollar in the United States rather. So that is why we are seeing all this going out. Better more, you can see that price is still looking, forward to, taking out liquidity around this level at the top here. So if price is going to do that, what then exactly should we now look out for moving forward? Okay, so as we can see this retracement, I am of the opinion that price is still highly, still going to be bullish, because we look at this last swing here, and you can see price is currently at about the 61.5%, 50% deep level, and we expect some level of retracement from that point to the upside. And then on the Euro USD, what do we have on Euro USD? We've seen how that markets have already shifted from the 4-hour time frame, meaning we've seen market structure shift on the 4-hour time frame. And what should we be expecting? We are expecting some level of pullback on Euro USD going forward. And since we are still expecting the pullback, then we should be expecting it somewhere around this 4-hour candle, right? And to be very specific, we should look at our pullback somewhere here. So we get high tendency, we see Euro USD, still by a little bit more to the upside, while we see the dollar, push more to the downside. So that is one thing we should look out for moving forward for the dollar in the during this New York session. We are going to see that. So let's check on the lower time frame. There are some entry opportunity that we can take for the dollar index. Right now, for the dollar index, all we are seeing is it's very much bullish to the upside, and there has not been any entry opportunity so far so good. Until we see some level of retracement a little bit more, and we can easily follow through. And where would the retracement be to? Is going to be somewhere to this other block here that we are seeing at the mid-Asian range. Somewhere here we see any retracement during this New York session, then we can easily follow through to the upside when we see the retracement to this point, and can follow through to the upside for the dollar index. All right, so that is for the dollar index moving forward. Now let's quickly look at GBP USD. What is going on with GBP USD? For GBP USD on the lower time frame, we have similar pattern playing out too, and we've not seen any clear entry on GBP USD. We've not seen any clear move, particularly on GBP USD. And if you look at it from the 4-hour time frame, we are going to observe that everything is still very much, we've seen some level of market structure shift somewhere here to the downside, and price is still pulling back a little bit to the upside. So for the 4-hour time frame of the GBP USD, there's high tendency we see it, trade a little bit more to this zone that we are seeing here, right? So that is it for GBP USD. There's high tendency price coming to trade this particular zone, because we've seen market structure shift here. So this is where we are still of the opinion that GBP USD is going to trade into for this particular week or day, right? So we still very much bullish. So if you look at it from lower time frame to join the bullish move of GBP USD, where would it be? Where would you join it from? And I think this is the entry for the bullish move of GBP USD. At this point here is the entry for GBP USD move to the upside, right? This is it here. and you can see how that price did the shoulder here, how that we've seen a sweep break of structure, price pull back into that level, and we can quickly follow through. And that leads to the upside for GBP for the buy, and that's what price has been reacting to so far. So good. All right, so let's quickly go to the precious metal to see what is also the outcome that has been playing out on the precious metal. Remember, this morning too, for the precious metal, we are also looking out for a pullback. Then we can easily follow through on the other side of the okay. But right now, what we are seeing is that our price just pulled back a little bit, and now is still buying all the way to the upside for the precious metal, right? And you can see price is still very bullish. So where is any entry? The only entry that we have marked out right from the 15 minutes is still very much there. That if we see price trade into to cover this gap, yes, we can follow through buy off, or we trade into this 15 minutes shoulder level. So it's still the same thing that we still have on the precious metal. Now for GBP JPY, what has been the move so far so good on GBP JPY? You know, this morning we are looking out that if price is going to, on the 5 minutes to be specific, the price is going to get to this point and pull back. Price just get there, tap into it, and just do some little bit downside, and now break the structure to the upside. Now, one thing about the box pattern is that when it fails, it's also giving us another entry signature. Now that it fails by trading up and taking out this high, now this is the new signature somewhere here to join the buy. But that's for that people who are actually in the FS bootcamp class will have taken this opportunity, because when the box pattern fails, when it goes out trading it, it's also giving you a entry, telling you a new story. And this is that for GBP JPY. Also, lastly, for Euro JPY, what we have so far so good. For Euro JPY, we have similar thing played out on Euro JPY this morning. Remember, during the analysis, we are here when price tapped into this area and push all the way for about for it to sell to the downside, and this was where we said our SL would be. Yes, it did, but it did not really move the way we expected it to move. It did not really deliver the way we expected it to deliver. So it just did about I think 30 pips or so, and fast all the way back up. But right now, price is currently in a consolidation. And remember where we still expect price to come into, which is this 15-minute POI somewhere around this shoulder here. So until we see a clear market structure shift to the downside for Euro JPY, then we can easily follow through when price gets into the upside. That will be the first POI. Why the second one is on the 1 hour time frame, how that price is expected to trade all the way to this 1 hour shoulder here. And when price gets there, we can easily follow through all the way back up. So that is our outlook for the dollar correlated pair, the yen correlated pair, and also for the precious metal this afternoon for New York session. If there's any question, I would like to take some, and if none, then tomorrow morning again by 8:30 a.m. is going to be a very great time for us, to converge again and get the best out of the market, take opportunities, and make our money so far so good. Once again, make sure you trade cautiously and use your proper risk management strategy. I'm Lincoln Shearing. Cheers and God bless.